If your body has all the nutrients that it needs and the immune system is strong, it'll fight off anything and get anything. The body is self-healing.
Today, we have the incredible Lauren Vanderpool, a renowned vegan and raw chef who's catered for stars like Stevie Wonder and Serena Williams.
Join us as she shares her passion for sustainable cooking and living deliciously.
The true biohack is what you do with the food. And food is medicine.
It's not just the food. It's the knowledge and the consciousness that we are impacting the food just as much as the food is impacting us.
When did you first realize you had all of this creativity inside?
Before I got into food, really, I'm a Leo. I wanted to be on the stage, okay? I was never tune yourself like you're an instrument. Before I touch any food, I sit, I breathe, and I meditate. Breathwork is a huge biohack that you don't have to pay for.
You at the Met Gala, being a chef, how did that even happen?
First of all, I just want
Welcome to another episode of A Healthy Point of View podcast. I'm your host. Today's a special one. You know, we always got the special ones here at A Healthy Point of View. We bring the experts around the world, but not just experts, but we bring people that create experts. Today we have a celebrity chef. This is not like your typical celebrity chef. This is someone who actually puts really strong, positive energy into the food. This is someone who's worked with Michelle Obama, with Serena Williams, with many of the professional sport teams out there and get their health on point so they can perform at their peak levels. But today we have a co-host, which is my business partner. You guys have seen him on the podcast before as a guest. We have the co-host, Corey Jacobs, who's going to help me do this interview today. Corey, take it.
Corey's in the building. Listen, I feel blessed to be here. Listen, I've been following Lauren's journey, for quite some time. And her incredible food that she makes art out of. She has so many talents. And she's just coming back from Colombia and blessed us with her presence. So we're going to just talk to her about her trip to Colombia and all of the things that she's been doing while she's gone. And what the future looks like for Lauren. And so we're just happy to be here. We're grateful to have your presence, and we're here to learn, and we're here to just learn about your journey and your story. And we're glad you're back in the States. The States missed you.
Thank you.
Lauren,
welcome. Thank you for
welcome.
having me. I really do feel honored to be with you all because you all are great in your own ways. And I mean, we got giants. I'm surrounded by giants right now. Right. So again, great honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, I was telling you backstage earlier, we talk about this world of biohacking, right? And everyone's so concerned about the different medications and the different, the peptides and the cold therapy. But the true biohack is what you do, right? With the food. And food is medicine. And that's what, one of the great gods, right? Hippocrates said it. Food is thy medicine.
Absolutely.
So I want to talk more about what you do. Number one, let's talk about how did you even get into this? Because the start of the journey is always very important.
Oh, man. I really believe that I was inspired by my great-grandmother, who's the first medicine woman that I've ever experienced. Mommy Sue, thank you. I love you. As a little girl, after kindergarten, I would come home and we would cook. We'd watch Murder, She Wrote and wrestling first, but then we'd go in the kitchen and we'd cook. And she's the first person I saw cut super fast and have such precision. Not only that, but she made her own medicine. She's the first person who introduced me to Cascara Sagrada and castor oil and just growing your own food, living sustainably.
Where was that at? Here in the United States?
Yeah, so she's from Guyana.
Okay.
And her husband is Chinese. So she's indigenous Guyanese, like the indigenous native Indian people from Guyana. And her husband is Chinese. So they had a restaurant in Guyana. So I feel like it was in my blood. But then as a little girl growing up, just seeing, right, the examples you see are sometimes more powerful than someone teaching you or saying, hey, take this. Just watching her make medicine, watching her cook food and being a part of that process inspired me. But it didn't really hit me until I got stabbed in my head. That's when some sense got knocked into my head at like 15 years old. And it was like a light bulb went off, right? And I was able to look in my environment. I grew up in DC. at the time when it was the murder capital. And so not only was it the murder capital, it's a food desert. So there was no options between uh, healthy food, fruits and vegetables, and Cheetos, because there were only like Cheetos and processed foods and things
Right.
like that. So of course, if that's what we're consuming on a regular basis, there's no oxygen going to our brains, right? We're not feeding the cellular structure. We are actually depleting it and distorting it. So somehow after that happened, I started looking around like, what is this place? It just like seems so foreign. And I believe it was a spiritual intervention because I didn't try to become spiritual or conscious. Um, it was unfolding for
Mm.
me. I just somehow walked down the street, went into a bookstore, and found this book called Heal Thyself by my now spiritual mother, Queen Afua. And I read the book in a day, and everybody who knew me knows I wasn't going to read no book in a day.
Right.
But I was so intrigued by looking and reading, like, wow. She explained how food was medicine. Simply, like, oh, dandelion is good. It's going to enrich your blood. It helps with the liver. Or red raspberry, good for the womb. And just by reading and saying, oh, wow. The next day, I was like, I'm not eating these Snickers or this chicken wings and mumbo sauce. I'm not eating that. I'm a vegan. Like overnight, I was like, I'm not just a vegan. I want to be the top of anything. I'm like, I'm a raw food vegan
Hold on, this is at the age of 15?
at 15 years old
Wow.
and in the
Wow.
hood, right? And so my mom and my family, my friends, they're looking at me like, "What the heck are you talking about, Lauren?" They literally thought I was crazy, but I was just ahead of my time. So
Right.
that's kind of where it started. My grandmother, and like I said, it didn't really hit me until I read that book again, and I was like, "Oh, wait." And I remembered my first, I have a medicine woman in my family that taught me, that showed me what it is, gave me medicine from her hands. And now I felt like the torch had been passed where I had a remembrance of who I am, that I am a medicine woman. And it just unfolded. So, kind of long story short.
Right. And I know you've studied under some incredible teachers as well. Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Man, God bless me. Definitely. I really feel that when you're in alignment with your purpose, everything starts opening up. So, Dr. Sabi is one of the people who I was blessed. But before I even uh, worked with him, it was a food scientist named Aris Latham. And he has been a raw vegan, mostly fruitarian for 50 years. Right now, he has a place in Panama. He's crushing it, doing amazing things. So, salute to
Nice.
him because we have to honor our teachers, right? And
Yeah, of course.
I am always putting flowers to their feet because without their example, I wouldn't be able to embody the way that I am. So, Aris Latham was one, and then Dr. Sabi. I was able to live and travel with him and his family in Honduras. They between Honduras, Florida, and California. So I got to learn how to make the herbs. And
That's
uh,
got to be an amazing experience,
first of
though.
all, he's a
I want to
G.
hear. I want to
First
hear
of all,
more
he's
about
a
Right,
that.
right,
G.
right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not just like what I love about my teachers is they're not what you think they are. Right? They're not as hocus pocus, crunchy granola y that you thought. He's a
Right,
full on G with it. Like he's
right.
so funny and just a great guy. And he took me in like his daughter, right? I didn't grow up with my father, and so he, working with him was like having um, a cool uncle dad kind of thing because I was able to I shared a room with his daughter, Zave. I was with his wife and all of his other children, and it was just a very special experience. But in addition to that, I was in the resonance of the healing. I was on the land learning about uh, the herbs that he's making and the compounds that are putting together and why. Um, and also realizing that it's not just the food, it's not just the herbs, although those things are important. It's the knowledge and the consciousness that we are impacting the food just as much as the food is impacting us. So the energy that we're having while we're creating it is just as important as where we're harvesting, who has planted the seed. All of that tells the story in the body temple. All of
Mm,
that becomes a part of who you are, right? Because you are what you eat.
right.
So, so much wisdom, right? So much wisdom. But yes, I've had beautiful teachers, and I'm really, really grateful for that.
That's amazing. And to touch up a little bit more on that, and when
Yeah.
we're talking about the type of energy that
Yeah.
you put into this food, and that's something that I learned early on. It's not just about cooking healthy food,
Yeah.
right, with organic ingredients, but it's also the energy that you're putting into this food as you're preparing it. Like if you're in just like this bad mood and cranky and just pissed off at the world, I don't want to eat that food.
No,
I think I'm gonna get sick instantaneously if I eat that food.
absolutely.
So, what is it that you do to the food as you're preparing it, or the food that you eat, or what do you recommend to the listeners when they're preparing food?
Well, I would say, first of all, tune yourself like you're an instrument. So before I touch any food, before I do anything, I sit, I breathe, and I meditate. Breath work is a huge biohack that you don't have to pay for. You can sit and you can literally oxygenate the cells. And as you're doing it, you could choose to feel this joy, this happiness, this gratitude. And it's so simple. It seems like joy is nothing,
Right,
happiness
right,
is
right,
nothing.
right,
It's the magical power of it all.
Right.
And it's so easy to feel deliberately, right? So that's one of the easiest things to do is just to sit and breathe, right? And then if you sit and breathe, think about what you're grateful for. You just choose anything, something that's going to give you this, like, let's
right,
go
right, right, right,
energy, right?
right,
The
right.
energy, right?
Exactly, that energy.
And once you have that in your body temple, really, if they did studies, if they looked at your cellular structure under a microscope, they will see the difference in your cells after you've done that charge to yourself. Well, now you're ready.
I believe
Now
it.
you're ready. Then
Yeah.
now you could go even further. Pull out the singing bowls, pull out the tuning forks, pull out the shakers, pull out the sound. Right? Use your words. We are the most beautiful instrument that we have. You don't even have to go and buy an instrument. We could right, we could hit the notes
Oh
consciously
yeah.
with
Yeah.
our own voice. So then I go to the next level, like I said, and add the sound healing to it. Right after I've gotten happy and joyful and in love with God, with the God energy in me, I pull out my singing bowls and I tune myself even further. And wherever I am, whatever space I'm in, I'm tuning. I'm tuning. Actually, a lot of my clients, when they first, when I first come in, I start working with them, they'll see my singing bowl and they're like wondering, what the hell is going on over there? Don't worry about that, sweetheart. I got this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what I'm doing. I'm tuning the whole environment,
Right. Right.
right? Because in order for me to create, I have to be in the right environment. A food, a seed, or a person is only as good as the environment that they're in,
Right.
right? So I want to create that. So then I do that. Now the whole place is popping, right? The
Right.
environment, me, we're jumping off
Yeah,
the
yeah,
walls.
yeah, yeah.
And that is where we create from because I don't even like to work with recipes. I'm an intuitive chef. So once I do that, I'm getting downloads from another space. I'm just pulling and I'm creating, and that is the magic. That is what I don't even need to have a plan. I'm that confident in not just me, but what the human being could be, what the human body can do when it's tuned to the right frequency.
Right.
Anything can happen. The possibilities are infinite. So that's what I like to be, and I like to just
Yeah.
play.
So
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 look, let me say this. Let me you the other day you let me listen to some music. I mean, speaking of that, and then Sam, listen, she's incredibly talented, right? And I
Thank
kind of
you.
wanted to ask you, she has paintings, she makes food art, like incredible dishes. It's not just about making the food and taking it. When you see the dish, you almost don't want to eat it. You
you
almost
got
want to
the
like,
visual.
yeah, you got the
Yeah.
visual
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
it. And then she sent me a couple of songs that she did, right? That that and her voice is incredible, and in guided meditation. And I know she hasn't came out with it yet because she's probably a little shy in that regard, like giving it to the world. But I believe she's incredibly talented. And I was just kind of trying to get a sense of like, when did you first realize you had all of this creativity inside of you?
Honestly, I always sang, and before I got into food, really, I'm a Leo. I wanted to be on the stage. Okay,
Right.
like I was
Okay.
never
Okay.
like I wanted to be a singer,
And
a
perform.
performer. Right?
Yes.
I didn't want to be in the back as a chef. That's why, if you've noticed, and anybody who's
Yes.
watched my journey, I'm a chef, but I'm not
Oh,
your
you're
regular
fabulous.
chef. I'm
You're,
like, I'm gonna
you're,
show up. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
hello. I've gone on the Fox News, NBC, whatever, with full on, because I'm the queen of green. So I make my outfits. I'm a
Yes.
designer, right? So I'm got onion bracelets, a radish necklace, a
Mhm.
skirt.
Right.
I
And
like
listen,
to
she had
play.
this like headdress on that's like this. And then they take her hair and actually make out designs out of her
Wow.
hair,
That's
you
pretty
know,
cool.
and things of that nature. I thought it was amazing. And she just came back from the Colombian jungles, right? And don't be surprised if tomorrow she's on somebody's stage or in some type of event, like really showing out and just giving that amazing energy. And then, not to mention, I want to know, how was the experience? You know, thinking about fabulous fashion, all these different things, and we'll talk about that. The Met Gala. Tell me, how did you at the Met Gala being a chef? Come on, how
First
did
of
that
all,
even happen?
First of all, I just want to thank Anna Wintour and Marcus Samuelson, because Anna Wintour emailed me herself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm like, Anna, and I've actually sat in the box next to Anna, right next to her,
Right.
while I was working with Serena and Venus, because she loves
Right.
Serena. So I met her before,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
But she didn't really know me, and I'm not pressed like that, right? Like,
Right.
I'm me too,
Yeah,
Anna.
yeah,
You
that's
know
right.
what
That's
I
right.
mean?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
I'm
fly,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
you, Anna, but I'm me too. So it's an honor for both. That's how I looked at it. But anyway, when I got the email, I was geeked. I was cartwheeling. Oh my God. And really, Marcus Samuelson, who has been a cheerleader of mine and somebody who's been so supportive, um, they put the play together. So
Mm-hmm.
they asked me if I would curate the menu for the Met
Right.
Gala, and do all of the things. And actually, the feedback was that, no, I'm not gonna do that, because there was some other
Hurt
chefs.
nobody. No,
I ain't gonna hurt nobody feelings.
this is where you shoot at them. You know what I'm saying? Right? You know what I'm saying? No, it's okay. Let me say it for you. There was other chefs, but they probably didn't have that sauce, no pun intended, that you had. You know, and all of that flair and flavor, right? But no, but listen, I'm sure they was incredible.
They were incredible, but of course, I am a multifaceted artist. So I designed my own outfit, and I thought the whole theme was, um, basically, they wanted you to pull from the history of fashion in America. And I thought, well, there's no
Mhm.
way we're going to talk about the history of fashion in America without talking about the native people of the land, which are the Native Americans.
Right.
So I called up my Native American brothers from the Navajo tribe, the war dancers, and I said, yo, I need you to pull up in the full regalia. We walking on the red carpet. We doing the whole play. So
Oh,
Oh
wow.
we
no.
doing the whole play. And
Yes.
so I sorted all that out. Um I was first going to have a sister out of Ghana do the design of it, and
Right.
I was already in Ghana. She measured me and everything, but then it was a whole lot for the shipping and all that. So I had a sister out of New York do it. Do my design. I designed the
Yes.
dress, and I had my brothers from the Navajo tribe send me fabric
Yes.
from their
Mm.
regalia, and
Yes.
we made the train from the authentic regalia that they wear. And that to me was an honor. Now, I had no idea that the Met Gala, because I never been to the Met Gala, and
Right.
also I never did no research on the Met Gala. I love fashion and all that, but that wasn't like my thing. So I had no idea that this was the time where all the big designers
Hmm. Show
get to
out.
show their work.
Show out.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that by me designing my own outfit, I was also in competition with them. Like, because when
Right.
got on the red
Wow.
carpet, they asked who
Wow.
I'm gonna be wearing. I'm like, well, I'm wearing me because this is my design.
Yeah.
Literally, as soon as I walked in, Anna Wintour, Tom Ford, and Ryan,
Ryan
whatever the brother's
something.
name is, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? That
Right.
brother right there.
Right.
They were standing. No disrespect. I'm just not good with names. And Tom Ford looked at me. He said, "Back in my day, I would have just, because the way he loved it so much. He wished, he was like, I should just cut this off of you
Yeah. Yeah.
because of."
Yeah.
I'm like, Thank you, Tom. This is such a
Yeah.
compliment from
Right,
you.
right, right.
But I also had these big feathers on. What was so
Hmm.
funny
I
is
seen
it,
those feathers too. Those
I,
feathers was like went
I was not,
viral.
the feathers were going viral because I was hitting everybody in the face with it. Kim Kardashian got the hit, but some people they were laughing, they were happy, but Kim got the biggest hit. I didn't mean it, right?
Right,
But
right, right, right.
her boyfriend at the time was laughing. Like, I'm like, what are you laughing? He's like, you keep hitting Kim with the feathers. Anyway, it was a movie. I had the best time. Now I was able to curate the entire cocktail party, and when people
Mm.
go to award shows and things like that, nobody eats,
Right, right,
but they
right.
will eat the hors d'oeuvres. So I did
Yes.
all the hors d'oeuvres, all vegan.
Right.
Right? So we're in
Wow.
the history of the Met Gala. They pulling that off. All vegan hors d'oeuvres. Now the other, like the main course and the all
Right.
that, they had meat and everything.
Yes.
I mm, I don't know who ate that, but I know
You killed it.
I saw people putting a little something in their bag. I'm not gonna say who it was, but
Right, right,
somebody
right.
wrapped it. Somebody I saw wrapped it in
Yeah.
a napkin, slid it in a purse. Okay, because I had the vegan deviled eggs.
Right.
I'd had this cornbread, uh, the cornbread with the vegan jackfruit barbecue with the micro. I mean, it was bananas. They were
Yeah.
like, what is this? Who?
Right, right.
And what I did was, each course I wanted to honor, what America, right? And what is America? America is a melting pot. So I had
Mm.
one called the Three Sisters,
Mhm.
which highlights the three agricultural crops of America, um, from the indigenous,
Right,
right?
right.
And so I just really was playing with the concept. They
Mhm.
love that. So
Mhm.
it was a movie. It was amazing.
I mean, you have
All
a
that to
very creative
say.
mindset. I mean, to be able to do
Mhm.
that, and that's the thing that I've learned with like being a vegan. You have to get
You
creative with
have
the
to.
food, and you can make some really good food being creative as a vegan.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, one of my favorite things to do is for my clients to tell me their favorite ingredients. You just say, I like mangoes, Brussels sprouts, and whatever, you name it. And then I will go into my mind and I will give you those ingredients in a way that you've never had them, right? Because I'm like a mad scientist. I'll take one ingredient and try to exalt the possibilities of what I could do with this one ingredient. I'll
Wow.
take a carrot and I'll figure out 100 ways to
I
utilize
need
this
to strain
carrot.
them.
I
Right.
like to
No.
play like that. You know what I mean? So that's like it's a challenge. I like to play. So you're right. Getting creative, is important because a lot of my clients, they are picky eaters, right?
And this
And
is all raw that you're
not
making?
all, not
Okay.
some of
That's good.
it depends on the client. So what I initially do with my clients is a kinesiology test, a
Okay.
muscle testing to find out what actually is going to strengthen their body, strengthen their frequency.
Mm.
Because there's this whole craze where everyone thought kale was good, right? But the oxalates in kale and certain things don't digest in most people's bodies. So what I do is I do the muscle testing with different ingredients, ingredient by ingredient, to see what your body needs. Because,
Okay.
for example, working with Serena and Venus, Venus needs completely different diet than what Serena is eating, even though they're sisters. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like I work with, uh, the Cleveland Browns, right? So in order for, them to weigh in, I have to go into the mad science brain and see, okay, well, you can't have this, you need this, boom boom boom. So yeah, it's different for everybody. I don't just It's no one size fits all, and I think that that's what makes people appreciate what I do, and just makes it unique.
Now, did you formally study like nutrition or like a
So
dietitian
I
type of?
went to yeah, I went to culinary school.
Okay.
And remember, I started my journey at 15. So, and I've studied under, a lot of different people. So, yes, I have been formally trained, but to be honest, the things that I learned in school, there were formalities,
Right.
right?
Right.
But the real, brunt of what I learned was sitting at the feet of master teachers and really being in the field and tinkering and
Yeah.
learning. I'm not a person who just wants to read a book and take it what the book is saying for law,
Yeah.
because I like to tinker. I want to see, okay, you saying that. Well, I'm not just going to buy that from you. I want to actually get in the lab and check it out and figure it out. And I think that's what's missing in this new age of information, that are just people are just soaking up information, and they're not really testing it out. They're
Yeah.
not really understanding it from a true state of
You
embodiment.
know, medicine is like that too, right? So it's always been very algorithmic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where doctors, they'll follow an algorithm,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all they want. They want to stick to that. Well, if this person has high blood pressure, we got to give them this medication. Versus actually taking a deep dive under the hood, which everybody else is different, right? Every person's different. Where now we got to do it based off of the individual, where it's more personalized. So,
Absolutely.
and I agree with you. You know, being in medicine for so many years, what you learn in the book gives you a good basis, but where you really learn is out in the field, right? The experience
Absolutely.
dealing with people.
And, there's new discoveries all the time. You don't know what you don't know that you don't know,
Right.
right? And so they're even finding that some doctors are diagnosing people with cancer when really it's a sack of parasitic eggs.
Mm,
Right. And so you're telling person and scaring a person, you're not going to live. First of all, baby, we got to clean that out. And there's ways to do it. The first thing you don't want to do is put fear in the mind, right? Because we understand the power of the mind. This is not just the physical, the power of the mind. You could tell the body to do whatever you want it to do,
oh yeah.
right? You can tell the body to move that and to release it, and with the right herbs, with wormwood, and with the technologies that you all the cryo, the red light, the IV. If your body is it has all the nutrients that it needs, and the immune system is strong, it'll fight off anything and get anything. The body is self-healing.
Right.
So I think that even with doctors and even with naturopaths, right now we're learning new things, and I think that we need to stay in that open-mindedness of, what do we really know? Do
Yeah.
we really know anything? Are we just uh tinkering, right?
Yeah, I love that what you just said. Is like some of the things that some of these traditional doctors tell their patients when they find something, it basically kind of makes them more sick.
Yeah.
Right? You start telling a patient, "Hey, you're going to be dead in a year from now," and
Bogus.
So
you
yeah, they
put that in
start
their head.
bringing that to reality.
Yeah, they bring it
Hmm.
to reality. And truthfully, when you start watching some of these Netflix of people who've gone through that, and they start telling themselves, "No, I'm going to live for the next 5, 10, 20
Hmm.
years," and
They
they
do.
actually do, right?
Absolutely. And so for me, I like to approach things from a very simple layman's, it's a very simple approach, which is, again, joy.
Right.
Joy, you don't need to focus on the hate, because when you're in joy, it naturally cancels out that frequency, right?
Yeah.
The darkness can't exist in the same room as the light, right? So if you are the light,
Hmm.
well then all that other stuff is null and void. So yeah, from a vibrational standpoint, if I start with that, oh, bring in that joy, that energy, my clients are feeling better
Right.
already
Yeah.
from a very simple, uh, basic, you know, uh, vantage point. That's the first medicine, is that we are the medicine. I am the medicine. That's how, like I said, we're infusing it. So then we give them the food, and we teach them how to infuse the medicine, infuse their energy in the medicine by affirmations,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But feeling the affirmations by the visualization while as they're eating, you can tell the food what to do. When I was getting my IV test yesterday, I sat, I meditated, and I told and instructed the medicine going into my body to heal me in ways that I can't even imagine, to go into all of the areas that I need, and to go and clean it out, do everything, give
Absorbing your
absorb
cells
all of
and
that. I
Mhm.
was
right.
telling
I
it
want
what to
every
do.
nutrient to be absorbed into
Hmm.
my cells and it go throughout my entire
And I
Yeah.
body.
was feeling it to the point where was I didn't want to cry on y'all in there,
Right.
because I didn't know who was gonna understand me, but I was in the tears, the tears of
Yeah.
joy. I felt it.
You're
Yeah,
infusing that high frequency
that's
into
right.
it.
Now
Yeah.
let me
Yes.
say
Yeah.
this because me and Sam were have talking about it, right? And I think coming into the location, right? We talked
Mhm.
about it too, and you was like, even your mother-in-law and everything was saying just
Mhm.
how much great energy it was, and that's very important. So Sam and I, we went all around the country, and and went to our various franchise owners and spoke to the owners, the employees, to build with them, because one of the things is that people are coming in to our facilities, right?
Yes.
They're coming to be healed. And
Yes.
the energy they get as soon as they walk in the door and meet the receptionist, the PA, the manager, and all these different people that's gonna help you, everybody in the things are amazing. Like when you, how was it?
Amazing. That is what I paid attention to, because the thing about it is that now that people are catching on to the health and wellness trend, everyone's popping up with the
Right.
I've got it, I've got this,
They're trying to grease their
IV thing
pockets.
yeah, but their intention,
Right.
right? The intention
It's the
is
wrong
not the
intention.
same.
Right.
And that is felt and reverberated into everything.
Mm-hmm.
What I found is that everyone there was happy and proud of what they were doing. They took pride in every moment that they did. They carried a certain energy, from the receptionist to the
The
cameraman to the
esthetician.
doctors to every single person. And you know what? You could see that the clients there, it fed them, and so their energy was transforming. I saw a lady come in there, and you could see she needed some Winergy,
Yeah.
right? And y'all gave it to her straight from the door, and you could see as she progressed into the seat where you get the IV, her whole frequency changed, because the vibrational medicine that you all have in there is top tier. And
Thank you. Thank
that's
you.
I don't want to go to a place. I don't eat from a person who's given stank energy or even fake
Right.
energy, or like, it was not pretentious at all. It was true love.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is the biggest medicine and biggest takeaway for me. Of course, you all have excellent tools of healing, right? But there's a lot of people out there that have that, but they do not have the love and the vibration. So that's a huge
appreciate that.
thing. Absolutely.
Hey, let's
Yeah.
go. That's what I'm talking about. No, I was
It's not the easiest thing to create and implement. You got to be able to motivate the staff, and that's one of the things. Corey, you're a big part of that, right?
Right.
Is bringing the Winergy and
Yes.
us coaching them and motivating them and letting them know that that's a huge impact for these patients, because some of the patients that come in, they have serious
They're going
issues that
through
they're
some
dealing
things.
with.
Yeah.
Right.
Some
And when we
that-
came
yeah.
in, the receptionist was getting an IV. Right? She's
Yes.
feeling the love. She was proud. She did the whole IV. She was doing a thing on the computer, getting an IV.
Mhm.
She had the extra aminos in there, this and that and the other. And then she put it up and went back to work. So why wouldn't you want, the people that are working there to be utilizing the same, modalities and all of these different things that we have? And because that's going to optimize them. And I think more companies, need to do the same thing. Create a
Absolutely.
company culture that has that kind of joy, that they love what they're doing. But it's all about leading by example. Sam, is an incredible person. All the relationships, everybody that I meet, they love Sam. We go in there, we're bringing a great energy, and we're bringing great partnerships. And we don't even do a partnership unless you kind of like ascribe to a certain philosophy, right?
Absolutely.
Because when I'm not with Sam, he knows that I'm representing. He knows that I'm spreading energy, I'm bringing joy, I'm empowering people, and I know when we're not together, I know he's doing the same thing. So when we
Absolutely.
talk about partnership, setting an example, we want to set an example. Yeah, we have locations all over the country doing this, but we want when you go to Coral Springs, when you go to Phoenix, they're incredible. When you go to Jersey or whatever, we have locations, Texas now, and it's spreading, right? We want people to go, whether you went to Liquid Vita in Fort Lauderdale or you went to one in Phoenix, we want you to come back and we want you to have that same or similar experience.
Absolutely. And again, in most companies, the employees don't even get to take advantage of all of the modalities and all of the medicine or whatever the services
Right.
they're like, no, you stay in the back, or you're like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
treated
or
like
they're
you
just
ain't
not-
like
They're not. They're
mm-mm.
treating them like
Like like they're below the
Yeah, yeah,
customers. Don't be
exactly.
like
No,
you're
because
not
if
even
you're gonna be
supposed
saying-
to.
If you're gonna be, introducing people to things, it's like you haven't ate something and you're representing it.
Right.
No, if you're talking about the nutrients, they're gonna be looking at you like, yo, you need to try it. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
You say, I do it myself.
Exactly.
I not only work here.
Matter of
I-
fact, I'm doing it now.
I'm doing it now. I'm in the middle of doing it.
So, and
even-
that's the best marketing too. You got the IV right there at the front desk, right? So, and that's one of the things that we implemented, and we thought about it closely. We said, you know what, we're going to go ahead and give our staffs we have the trademark. It's up here. Live to 100. Right. Live until you're 100
I
years
love
old.
that.
So we started a Live to 100 membership program, and we let the staff have that membership for free,
I love
and that includes free services every single month. And some of the staff, they don't use it, and we get on top of them about
I
it.
love
You know,
that.
it's like people come here and spend hundreds and thousands of
Thousands,
dollars,
yeah.
and you have access to this for free.
Right.
Use it.
You
You know,
must.
Listen,
use it.
yesterday you seen I went and got the hair removal. I did the pulse machine. I got the IV. I'm going world. You know what I'm saying? And you know, because you want to get into a business, right? When you get into a business, you want to get into a business that can help raise your, you know what I'm saying, whatever you're doing, right?
Yes.
That can help you improve, help empower you, and you can empower
Absolutely.
others. You can share it with your family, right? We
Absolutely.
can share with others who think that these modalities are unaffordable, or that they're out of their reach, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, not only did we want to like obviously do what we're doing, we're in a lot of neighborhoods that's affluent and different things, but now we want to get way more into the educational aspect. We, you know, dealing with the youth, and you're a big part of that. You see what I'm saying? You're here. This is just the beginning. You dropping gems. I'm learning. I'm a lifelong learner. I'm a student before
Me
anything
too.
else.
Master
you know what
students
I mean?
over here.
You know, and
Yeah,
that's
I
the
love
only
that.
way you're gonna learn, to listen, you know, to those who've been there, who've got the knowledge, and now we take this knowledge and we unify and we give that to the world, right? In such a loving way where we can people would want to do. Right? They feel
Absolutely.
embraced, not just tolerated when they come in that door. They like,
Mhm.
wow, I feel like I don't feel nowhere else coming into Liquid Vita.
It feels that if you feel at home.
But at home.
You feel at
Oh.
home. You feel like, do I have to leave?
Right. Do I
Do I
have to?
have to go? This is fabulous. Oh my God,
Right.
everyone's so nice.
Yeah.
Literally.
Right.
And it's not a fake nice.
Right.
It's not, because you know those, right? They're like,
No,
they,
right.
it's like, it's not a fake, it's real authenticity. And
Yeah.
that is,
The
it
soul
seemed,
of energy.
it's
Nah,
the soul of
authen-
winter.
It's
It
the
really
authenticity.
is.
No,
It-
that's
it-
actually like one of the principles in the book.
when you feel
Mhm.
fulfilled,
Right, fulfilled.
you know, and then that comes out of you.
Your true
Right? You feel
self.
appreciated.
Yeah.
The staff feels appreciated.
Right.
They feel proud because they have two powerful team leaders,
That's right.
right? That are examples. Truly. You know, when I say that I feel honored to be here, I mean that.
I appreciate
Because
that.
what you're doing together and individually
Yeah.
is what we need on the planet, coming out in a real way, not for gimmick, not because it's popular to be in health and wellness now, not because there's motivational speakers are on the rise, not because of that, but because it's really coming from an anointed place, because you know that you're truly chosen and you're
right.
excited and proud of
That's
your
right.
to do it too.
Yeah. Yep,
Oh,
You
yep,
know,
yep,
and
yep,
that translates. So,
So eat yourself sexy. Cause you making me think about, you know, what I thought it was great about Sam, you know, Sam was like, yo, let's order a book and have it here. We ordered the book yesterday, got here today.
The book's
and
right here.
It's right
Yep,
here.
yep, yep.
And you look fabulous. You know, you got your outfit on. And how did the Eat Yourself Sexy come apart? I see like Serena, did she do the forward?
Yeah.
well, Venus did the forward. Serena gave the quote. We have Dick Gregory
Yeah.
in there. I don't know
Uh-huh.
if you know who he is, but he's
Yeah.
the king, the first. Okay, I know y'all seen House Party.
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
y'all know about that.
Oh, no, Dick Gregory is
Yeah.
going work.
World.
Check this out. Dick Gregory, just the other day, I was seeing some footage when he was a young man and he was going in. I did not know he was such a beast.
A beast.
I was like, oh, this is a sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how do I not know someone who read thousands of books, who did this in a lot of different spaces and read about different, you know, history of this and the history of that, and I don't really know the history of Dick Gregory? That was a violation.
He's been the godfather of the vegan movement before
Yes.
it became popular.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah,
so
and the fasting and the whole
Mhm.
thing. Right,
all
right.
of that.
He
you
made
know?
me want to. I fasted for 2 days after that. Like, no, literally 2 days twice. Like, the one time I was like, you talking about going on days and days and days.
Mhm.
I can't fast for 2 days.
Mhm.
Are you serious?
Come on,
Let's
you did-
slap
you-
myself.
How you feel after you do it?
Oh yeah, no, I feel because your body is now. It makes sense. you know, when your body starts not having the food, it's good. And I talked about this too, to be hungry a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then your body starts, you know, eating up the extra,
The
the
toxins and
impurities
stuff.
and toxins
Right.
in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do all of this stuff. We take various things to do that. But I really felt in those 2 days after the first day of like, yo, I'm starving right now. I'm not starving.
Right. No, that's
That's
your mind.
disrespectful.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's in
Even
your
to
mind.
say I'm starving,
Yeah.
right? And then after the second day got there, I was
It was
cool.
easier,
Then I
right?
had the next day I had a soup, I ate some food, I ate some
Mm-hmm.
fruit. And when after I didn't eat for the 2 days, and then I had some berries in there. Normally if I have some berries, I'm gonna eat a few berries. How many berries can I eat? I ate the whole carton of berries. I was eating them like they was like candy.
And I bet your body
Mm-hmm.
was just like
So
Listen, when
yeah,
I ate the
absorbing it.
quickly.
berries,
Yeah.
it was the best berries I've ever tasted. Like, and I'm just not the berry guy. Like, you know, I made some raspberries. I make the strawberries, different stuff like that. Not the berries. You know, I just
No.
don't eat berries. I put them in a smoothie and mix it up. But I ate the berries. They just was like, they were
Mm-hmm.
so delicious.
Now,
right?
Corey, they got the this is a big thing now.
Yeah.
7-day water fast. Would you do
Yeah.
it?
I would do it. See,
7
I
now-
gotta
days,
take you on.
7
So I
days.
do these.
Yeah.
So
You do the 7-day water
well, I
fast?
actually do
started
more than that. I
fasting.
do.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I've started fasting when I first became conscious. Like when I came into knowledge at 15, I think I did my first 30-day fast at
Ooh.
16 years old. Because I remember I got into the herbs. I started learning. And I was a fanatic. Like
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
But you
remember,
don't do any kind of like vegetable broth
no,
or
no.
anything,
Well,
or
so when I do my 7-day cleanse with my community, my
Yes,
online
yeah.
community, um, I start them off with 3 days, 80-20, 80% raw, 20% cooked, right? So
okay.
that depending on where you are, if you're coming off the standard American diet, you're not going to shock your body as much, right? And so I also give them a list of herbs and things that they need to consume because remember, it's not enough to just change what you're eating or just fast because your body has been consuming certain things for years. So you're going to need to get digestive herbs, right? Senna, Cascara sagrada, wormwood, certain herbs that are going to go into the body, bladderwrack, sea moss, sarsaparilla, partiarco, certain herbs that are going to go in and they're like your warriors, right? They like
Right.
coming in,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Going to
And
your gut.
go
Go
into,
Where y'all at? You
they're-
go over there, I'm
yeah,
gonna go over here.
all of that. And then by the fourth day, we go into liquids, right? And so when on the fourth day, we can still do blended soups, smoothies, juices, water, herbs.
Okay.
But now on the fifth day, we're going just juices, right? And I'm not talking about sweet juices. We're talking, you can do a sweet moment, but I highly recommend more non-sweet, more cucumber based, green based food,
Okay.
juices because and herbs and coconut water because that's going to go in and it's going to reoxygenate the cells. It's going to start cleansing. These are remember the food is alive, right? And they have consciousness, right? So that's why we tell it what to do. We receive this. This is like a spiritual thing that's
Right.
happening. They're going in and they are your warriors. So the things that are in there, they're clearing them out. Then by the sixth day, we're just doing coconut water,
Okay.
right? And so we're not just doing regular coconut water. We're doing coconut water with chlorella. This acts as a blood transfusion, right? So
Wow.
we're going in and we're cleaning the blood. We're adding burdock and dandelion and certain other herbs that are going to clean the whole water system out. Then I usually, for the last day, I give the option for people to just do coconut water or to do a dry fast. Now, if you've never done a dry fast, which I've done 4 days of dry fast, no
What's the dry
water,
fast? Just no water?
no water, no nothing,
Wow.
just breath. And it is the most powerful fast because you really have to spar with yourself, right? You accidentally might fall on a little mashed potato on accident, or you're like, oh
Yeah.
man, you just
Like,
get.
You're like,
Oh man, I'm
oops,
just
oh,
gonna have
put it in my-
I'm gonna have a teaspoon of peanut butter. You know, I'm just gonna get a little. You just start thinking
Yeah.
of all the things that you
Yes.
can. But what is happening is you realize how addicted we are to food and to all of these different things. And there's a spiritual aspect that happens that is only unique to you. God starts speaking to you in another way. And the dry fast is highly recommended. So yeah, I this in the 7 days, this is an intermediate 7 days, right?
Right,
Because
right.
I've done 21 days of just fresh juices, right? So and coconut water and herbs and things like that. So there's fasting is something that I have always relied on to recalibrate me and my clients when they are having degenerative diseases like cancer, lupus, a certain other, my first client at 18 years old who became my bonus dad, they were going to cut out the majority of his intestines. He had um, a, a disease that is most people think is incurable. Within months, he had no more of it in his body,
Wow. Wow.
you
Wow.
know? And so the body is self-healing. It's not just the food. It's the affirmations.
Yeah.
It's the belief. It's the joy.
And you know what I thought is interesting? I seen, and she was, she's incredible with the design. She would put little affirmations on the food.
On the food.
Now,
Wow.
is that great? That's
Yeah.
even doubling down on it.
Boom. Right? Because then you
You
look
get
at
their
it
mind right
and you're
before they
like,
even eat it.
and what I love is like some of the toughest, clients that I've had, they just love the affirmations. They
Yeah,
just
yeah.
love them. They just like, if the child in them
They look
begins to
for
get
that more than the
activated,
food,
they
right?
look at, yeah,
It's
they
like opening
keep
up a
'em.
fortune cookie.
I have my client Common. I do affirmations. He has a wall of all of the affirmations.
That's pretty cool.
He
Right.
went on Jimmy Kimmel and with the affirmations,
Right.
like
I
he
actually
loves
seen
the
him. I
affirmations
actually
so
seen him
much.
say your name in an interview about when he did his book. Like you walked him through the process and taught him tremendously for him to even write the book in the first place, and he was pulling jewels from you, like asking you questions in the process. So you're impacting lives on. We probably can't even quantify how many people you done poured into, and then from all the lessons you took, those lessons that you're learning from your elders, and now you're passing on to other people, mentoring other people. And how does that feel? How does that feel?
It
The
feels
impact.
great. To me, um, it feels great. But I also, I'm grateful for it. And yeah, I don't know always how big it is, and I try to keep it low to the ground
Yeah.
because, um, yeah, because you could get lost and you could,
Yeah.
if I didn't did all, you start feeling yourself. And
Mhm.
really, I'm just a vessel.
So do you think
God saved my life to do this work.
when you went to Colombia, let's say because you was on a roll,
Hmm.
and then you popped off in Colombia and you started doing your thing, what did you what kind of reset, because you're back in the town now, you know what I'm saying? You back in the
I
town.
still have my places in
No,
Colombia,
no,
but
no.
yeah.
No, in a place in Colombia, it's a movie. We talking about no doors, no nothing is out there. I would probably get this mosquito bites of life. You know what I'm saying? I don't
We
even
do
know.
got mosquito
I
nets
would
on the
be
bed, but
shook.
yeah.
Listen, I would be shook, just looking at the jungle serene, but it's very serene. Obviously, I think you do retreats there and things of that
Absolutely.
nature.
Hmm.
And so what did you get from, like, obviously you go different places and you've learned a lot already. What did you go to Colombia, and what was that experience like, and what did you discover in Colombia?
Well, I would say because remember, I've been doing this for a long time,
Right.
flying here, there, and everywhere, and
Hmm.
um, I had to sit with who heals the healer, right? I was
Yes.
I was exhausted, right? From pouring, and I had to learn a new way to pour. I had to
Hmm.
sit down and pour into myself, allow God to pour into me
Yes.
because the way, I'm so eager. I was always so excited. I want to do it. I love what I do so much. I do it for free.
Right.
That's how much I love it. And on
Right.
in many occasions I have,
Yes. 100%.
and so I had to take a moment to pour that same love that I was pouring into others into myself, recalibrate myself because I knew that in this season that this would be you know, the highest I'd go. Yeah, yeah, going higher than I've ever gone, rather, and that the expansion was more than I have ever expanded. So I needed to be prepared.
It's a lot.
Exactly. I
It's a
needed to
lot.
be prepared and I needed to learn. Um, I needed nature to talk to me. I needed
Right.
nature to go inside and heal me. And this is beyond words. The sound of the birds, we have 200 species of birds. The cosmic sound of the birds was healing me in ways that I can't even articulate.
Right,
You
right,
know, the
right.
oxygen
Lauren,
levels.
I'm going to take a step back there because one thing that you just said is who heals the healer.
Mm-hmm.
And Corey, as you know, we have over 4,000 doctors that tune into this podcast.
Right, right,
And
right.
this is one of the things that I talk about all the time is that when we're actively healing these patients, right, or guiding them through the healing process,
Mm-hmm.
what ends up happening is the healers will absorb a lot of that negative energy that's
Mm-hmm.
in them and it
Mhm.
sits within them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I want to even touch a little bit, go even deeper on that.
Mm-hmm.
Who heals the healer? Because people just keep on going, and they don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
You actually took the time to stop to be able to reset.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important for these doctors that are listening right now to the podcast to understand the importance of what you're talking about.
It's so important because if you don't, you deplete yourself. And then what happens is the longer you do it, at first you start off bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Then towards the end, some healers that don't do the pause become bitter healers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Then you start, you start getting all, you're angry. Oh, I did this and nobody's giving me credit and this and that. Well, you didn't do it for the credit. That's why I said it's a very slippery slope. God
Mhm.
saved my life to do it. And God said, if you don't go this way, I don't need you on the planet. Remember, I got into this because I was stabbed in my head. I was living a real hood rat life and not like a promiscuous one. Like, no, I will beat
From
you.
DC, right.
I'm a fighter,
Yeah,
right?
you're
like I know you
surviving.
can't tell, but I
Yeah, you get glamorous, you got the hat backwards, and the whole thing, right, right.
You
You
know.
with the smoke.
I'm with the smoke, right? But I had to learn the power. God gave me a gift, and it's not to be willy-nilly with it and frivolous with this fire that I have.
Right.
This is something you have to be a great steward of your gifts.
Yes,
You know,
100%.
especially if you have fire. You can't
Mhm.
just a fire can warm a home or it can burn down the house.
Yes.
You have to know how to utilize your tools. And so
Yes.
yeah, I didn't always know how to
In the
utilize my
mastery
tool.
of
I didn't
yourself, like, yeah.
so sitting and being still and being quiet is what helped me because again, you don't want to end up bitter and angry and overworked and depleted with no money. How many healers do you know are broke and broken down?
Right.
So
Yeah.
many. And
Mhm.
I didn't want that to be me. So I went into the mountain and I did what eagles do, right? Every 40 years, eagles go into the high peaks of the mountain and they break their beak off. They tear off their claws and their wings. So and a new beak grows and new feathers grow and new claws grow because you need the renewal to go back into to be able to carry a lion and pick a lion up. You got to have strong claws.
I like that.
And those claws get dull and that beak get dull over years and years,
Years of
just
doing that.
doing that,
So
right?
I had to go in and renew because, like I said, in this new season, I'm surrounded by giants, right? I have a new there's a newness happening, and
That's right.
I'm listening, right? I know that I'm not in charge here. God is in charge,
Right.
right? I'm literally just listening. I know nothing. That I'm not confused. I'm not an intelligent fool. I know nothing. I'm just listening and doing. That's how I do my food. That's how I just listen and it just boom, 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 and the
Yeah.
magic happens.
No,
Like
100%. I'm
that's
the
how it
same
is.
way. I'm the same way. I always tell people, like, it's not me. I'm not. If I was trying to follow my, you
You'd
see
be
what
right.
you see what me doing the thinking did.
Yeah,
where
me
it
too.
got
That's how I.
You see what I'm
That's how
saying?
I
That got
felt.
me to 16 life sentences and a death sentence. Once I sat down and I got quiet and I started seeing myself clear, right? I started seeing the entire world clear. And
Mhm.
then when I started seeing the entire world clear, that's when those gates opened up and where you start living out true freedom. You
Mm.
see what I'm saying? So
I
now
see.
the true freedom livers are going to attract each other because we done went through those
Trenches.
through the trenches and been through the fire and back. Because if you haven't really been through the fire, oh, this is a bar. We've been through a fire. If you haven't been through a fire, see, everybody's fire is different, right? Sam, speaking of fire, you know what I'm saying? I done been through the fire when I've been, but he done walked through fires literally and pulled out people and saved people's lives, right? So it only right that we came together, right?
Yeah.
You know, you only right because because you're built like that. So because if you're not built like that, I can't mess with somebody that's not built through the fire. And neither can you because you done went in there and absorbed smoke in your lungs and gave up a piece of your life for others. You know what I'm saying? So it's only right that you be able to interact with people and build with people and build businesses with people, have conversations with people who's also took that journey. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And when I was in prison, I used to say, listen, if you haven't been to this level of penitentiariness, you understand what I'm saying? I really can't even hang. I can't walk around with you, walk the yard, because you don't know that this is. You know what I'm saying? You haven't seen enough people die and get stabbed physically, right? To know, don't play. And definitely don't play if you're walking around with me. See what I'm saying? So, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't play,
Absolutely.
like, I don't want to be, you see,
We
on the
not
other
playing,
end of
yeah.
something because of something that you did, right?
Absolutely.
But obviously things happen, you understand what I'm saying? But if you know the people that you're engaging with, that you're interacting with, have a certain level of integrity, they're living life from abundance, they're grateful, they're God-fearing, you understand what I'm saying? We're starting from a place. You understand? So
Absolutely.
whenever my brother Sam is wherever he's at, I know he's being honorable. I know he's being integrable. You know what I'm saying? I know that I'm not worrying about anything. If there's an opportunity and we had conversations, he's gonna say, Corey, oh, I got an alley. I don't gotta look over my shoulder. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, and when you have that type of energy, when you pushing that line, right now you're attracting other people, right, who are also like that. It's you see, oh, you know, it's gonna be natural. We don't even have to think about it. We're gonna some kind of way you're gonna meet, and you're gonna be like, yo, how do we even meet? Right? Like how do we meet? I don't know. Was it? We can't even remember. It's because our like-mindedness got attracted, and where you're at, and our trajectories are going to the moon and beyond. So now, why wouldn't we put together? Why wouldn't God put us together so that we're all going to the moon and we're going that way? That's more force, and that's
More fire.
more fire, and we need that fire because you got to break through the atmosphere. Right? Oh, I
Absolutely.
freestyle that. That was a freestyle.
But and it's
You
true.
see what I'm saying?
And he's still, the thing about it, now that I'm like putting it together, because I didn't even realize,
The fire,
he's
right.
still taking people through the fire, but in a different way.
That's right.
People who are going through the fire in their lives, like you
Yes.
said, people are coming to
Right.
you and they have all kinds of issues, and you have created, God has created through you a space where you can take them through.
Yes.
You can come on. You are a healer. You're a medicine man, and you were smart enough to create teams that it's not just you,
Yes.
right? And that is the new season. It's like I can't do the personal chef every time, but I gotta appoint people. You have to delegate. This is not the season of overworking in that way.
Right.
There's a new way of doing it, and you both are just great examples of that.
I
Like
appreciate
I said,
that.
I'm like hats off.
Thank you.
No. And then you just keep adding great people. Everybody has like their particular lane to add value, right? I've been through what I've been through, Sam, you yourself, and we all have something to learn from each other. And we all collectively and very powerfully can take that collective knowledge and give it to and then not only just to get the knowledge, but apply the knowledge, right? And they applying the knowledge because we're applying, right? We're not just talking, we're doing.
Embodiments.
We're
We're
embodying it.
embodiments
Embodying
of
it.
that. So
Right.
the example, they
Yes.
say children don't just learn from what you're telling them. Actually, the majority of how they learn is what they are seeing, the
Right.
example
Yeah,
that
that's
you're
true.
showing them.
That's right.
Right? And so the examples are there.
Right.
The examples are clear, and that is the potent medicine. Who knows who will watch this?
That's right.
You know?
Whose life will be touched? Who will be motivated to say, you know what, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna eat healthier.
I'm gonna try to fast.
Right. Oh, I'm gonna go get that exam. I'm gonna look under the hood. I'm gonna see what's going on with myself. I'm gonna go a little harder.
Come on with the exam. Come on. Come
Yeah.
on, 99% accuracy with the bone density,
Yeah.
the weight, and where the
Come on,
fat is going
100
and
pages
everything.
of
Come
diagnostic
on.
tests.
Yeah.
Right?
on,
It's
right.
important that you care and love yourself enough to take the time to understand what's going on in the body, because the physical body outside is the very least of what's happening. It's the inner world where
Yes.
all the magic is happening.
Yes.
The heart is pumping right now in all of us without us trying.
That's right.
Right.
We're having a conversation, talking this and that. There's a whole system
going.
happening
And when
that
you're
we
sleeping,
forget.
when you're sleeping,
Everything, so honoring that and understanding how to just understanding the machine that is us, right? Everyone's trying to understand AI, but how about understanding your own brain, the cells in your body? and utilizing tools that can help you understand that further is top tier.
And it's
Right.
so fun when you actually have the ability to understand it. The world just changes. Everything you see,
does.
whatever you're gonna eat, you're like, oh, well, this is gonna make me feel a little funny today. Let me take this instead. You know,
Making better
hmm
decisions.
right?
And here's another thing, because I've been an extreme. Remember, I started off as a raw foodist, and I've been for 25 years, and I'm in a season of understanding it's beyond the extremities of it. Remember, the first thing is the energy, the vibration, because
Mhm.
you could be eating all the vegan food that you want, but if you have a toxic energy, everything you eat is poison.
Right.
hmm
Everything you touch is poison. You don't have the Midas touch, you have the opposite of that. But if you have the vibration, the energy, it doesn't matter what you eat. It's if maybe you don't got a drop of food. If you got this gratitude and this love, you've got the first meal we have is our breath. When you're a baby, first meal you have
Take that
is
breath.
your
Yeah.
first breath. We
That's
have to
right.
remember
Oxygen.
that, right? And that
That's right.
that gratitude, that is the first thing. So it's not enough to just eat healthy foods and blah 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 and get into all of that. Yes, it's important, but there's so many other levels, right? And it's the consciousness and understanding we are magical beings. We are beyond the physical material realm. And if we can tap into that, wow,
I
we're
love
on
it.
to
I love it.
something.
Yeah.
Lauren, the book. I want to go back to the book here.
Okay.
Yes,
What?
yes,
Why
yes.
did he pick that name? There's got to be a story behind the name.
Well, okay. I started off very young and very extreme. So nobody understood me. Okay. I am from the hood. So people used to run from me when I saw, oh, here she come, here she come. Cause I'd be like, put them chicken wings down.
Oh,
I was a
right.
self-righteous raw foodist. And like, I became more conscious. I had the dashiki, the head wrap, the whole thing. I was what I thought was conscious, right?
Right.
But my energy, remember, I'm talking about uh, what I've been, a conscious person who's self-righteous and judgmental. So I had to like come off come off all of that, and I was really wanting to be relatable. I wanted people to get it. Remember, this was 15, this was back in 2000 when I came into knowledge, and all my peers in my community, no one had caught up to it. So I had to figure out a way once I got off my high horse of
Right, right,
being
right.
self-righteous, because some people were impacted, but the people who I really wanted to, who I felt really needed it, they weren't trying to hear it.
Right.
So I said, okay, well, let me go ahead and sauce it up a little bit and
Right.
pull the sexy moment on it. And so
Because that's key. Because if it's not reaching them, if you're not on a frequency, you could tap into them. It's like being on 105.9, but they're on 97.5. See what I'm
exactly.
saying?
They
Like you're not.
they
So
can't
that means
relate.
so
There was
that
no
means
point
you're
of
not
attraction.
effective.
There's no point of attraction.
Yeah.
So I had to
Right.
find the point of attraction, which was, again, I'm not saying I've done it all right, but that was my intention, was to try to make this knowledge that I had, which is so heavy, so powerful, so potent, to make it palatable enough for people, right?
Right.
Like what I do with food. How do I get somebody to eat onions when they hate it? I have to figure out a way to do it where they're like, how the heck am I eating these and these are delicious?
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
that's basically the way I came up with the name Eat Yourself Sexy, because I knew people wanted to look good. That beyond the feeling, right? We didn't gotten to that stage yet. We're starting off at the first level, which is
Right.
you're gonna look good, you're gonna look sexy. Look at me, hey, they're like, I need some of that. So that's what helped. That's basically how I came up with it. Now I realize now, because I wrote this in 2012. That was when the first 2012, 2010. There's two editions of this. The original, which I believe I published in 2010, and then the other one was 2012. And again, nobody was up on it. They're like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Right.
So yeah, and it worked.
It's one of them things that you know how like Moby Dick start hitting later on. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Nah, fuck. Can't
It's
on.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? But it's something that sometimes a person can be ahead of their times, right? But and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? So no, that's something that I can see coming back, and even with a refresh, or even not even with that. the knowledge in there is timeless, and it'll always be on time. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
and what I realize now is that, Lauren, you know, be proud. Be proud. You don't have to put on a mask. I had to burn all my little masks, right?
Right.
The embodiments that I used to enter the rooms that I felt that I didn't belong in. But I belong.
Right.
I belong. I had to get that into my mind that I don't need a mask, that I am enough,
Right.
right? That I don't need to put a fluff on what I have because it's that good. I don't have to dress up and look spiritual. I am.
Right.
I don't need to put on a show or make you convince you to put on a crunchy outfit, because if it resonates, it's gonna resonate.
Yeah.
And that's what I've gotten to now, that I don't need to do that anymore. I've surpassed that level, and people are ready. People are ready for me now. They weren't ready for
Right,
me
right,
then,
right, right, right,
but
right.
they're ready. So that's kind of like a part of what I was doing in Colombia, was releasing all of the shit that I thought that I needed to get to convince the people that I love so much that, hey, eat your fruits and vegetables, please come this way. Don't come out of the gutter, come into the light. I was desperate.
Right.
I wanted it so bad. I still do. But I don't have to keep putting my hands in the fire. I don't have to keep hurting myself for the people, because they have to come to my level. They have to raise up to my vibrational frequency. I'm no longer going down. Yes, I understand the vibrational
Yeah.
resonance, and that there has to be a point of attraction, but you do the work. You do the work to come up to
That's
here.
right.
That's
Right.
it. I'm not
Yeah.
not begging bow no more.
That's right. Like even with
Bridget.
the book, like even with the Winergy book, the principal book, you have to sign up for this. Like, I have, you have to sign a dotted line that I want this. Because
Mhm.
one of the things I learned in prison is that I used to try to get cats to stop smoking cigarettes, stuff. I'm like, "Yeah, the cigarettes is killing you, my nigga." You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, all of this. And then I remember one day, right? I had one guy, he was my cellie. And if you would become my cellie, you can't smoke, because I don't smoke, right? And so they would agree, because I was like the best cellie ever. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to be my cellie, my cellmate, right? So he comes in, he agrees, I'm gonna cellie, I'm gonna stop smoking. This guy was an incredible singer. I mean, an incredible singer. So I was like, yo, I wanted him to, just start making, moves to like better himself and use his gift, to impact the world. He used it for other means, and now, so that's the same thing. So now I remember I'm thinking that one day I looked out the window, he was on the basketball court, and they was running around, and one of the guys passed him a cigarette, took a puff. I was like, oh man. I was like, okay.
You were
He took a puff, I was disappointed. Like, you know what I'm saying? He took a puff, he snuck a puff on the
And now
court.
he snuck up.
Yeah, so I was like, oh man. I said,
And you caught him.
I caught
Got
him.
him.
So anyway, whatever. I was like, man, I hit him with the,
I
the
saw
thing.
you
He was
sneak
like,
a puff.
he was like, it's a little puff, get the cheat off me, right? And then one day they was in another cell, and they had it was the towel up. My buddy who lived next door, he came to me. He said, yo, Ace is.
Not them
He said,
snitching,
he
yo.
said,
What were you doing?
he said, look, he said he's in that room, the towel's up.
Oh my God.
They're in there. They're in there.
They're in
He said, let him. He said he ain't ready. Let him live. Let him live.
Let him-
So he don't gotta run around and hide.
Oh.
It was at that moment. Then the thing came up. The thing, all the smokers came out the room.
Now you looking
and
like.
then boom, I was sitting on the thing, and I looked at him. And then when he came around, he was like, he was probably wondering that I see him. Like, yeah, I see. I said, yo, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. You're not ready. He said, yeah, I'm not ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ready. And I was like, that's fair. I'm not ready. You know what I'm saying? And but then, finally he ended up doing it, but he ended up doing
On his
it
own accord.
on his own accord when he was ready. You see what I'm saying? So that was the one thing I learned. Like, you can try to do XYZ, but sometimes it might be a person running into a brick wall, right? They just have to experience something. Something has to happen traumatic from an experience or whatever it is. And some people might just like get, epiphany, like, yo, you know what? I'm ready. Right? It doesn't take a brick wall, something they had a dream or something's happening. They want better for themselves. They're ready, because if you love yourself, right, you're gonna be. It's much easier for you not to smoke. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because you love yourself.
Right.
You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
You're
So it's a
like, what
lot
am I doing?
yeah, like I'm putting the in my body. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's when you love yourself, you're not gonna just slice yourself because if you love yourself. So those are the things I learned. So I was just saying it resonated with me with what you're saying and where you're at from your experiences. I learned the same thing. People gotta kind of want it. We just show incredible examples, and it's like my grandbaby or different stuff. You put stuff out there for them to have access to it,
Mhm.
right? And I can see she took a harmonica, and I have a little thing, and she pulled it. She's like, "Wah, wah, wah, wah," she started getting busy. I ain't forced you to use the guitar, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like that, you got the harmonica and started doing your little one too,
Mhm.
you know. And she loves like astrology, and she remembers the most about astrology. So, not astrology, but like the planets, right?
Mhm.
We went to Target, and it was like this little thing, and she was like, "That's Uranus, that's this, that's that." Yeah.
You
You
see?
know what I
Wow.
mean? So and you nurture that, right? And so it's
No
important.
force.
It's important to get at our kids younger, right?
Mhm.
And younger. So we're doing a lot of stuff at the school. I want you to come by. We have a school where
Yes.
we teach kids farming and all these different things, and and come by and start just like giving those kids something. It's kindergarten to eighth grade, and at these formidable years where they're so impressionable, and start to teach. That's why we're teaching them farming, AI farming,
Mhm.
technology, all these various things in a charter school because they need to learn these things. We don't want to get into a place or a space where our kids can't even feed themselves.
Yeah.
They're relying on somebody else to feed them. And
Yeah.
it's our responsibility to empower them to be able to take control of their lives. And the best way to do that is to learning about the land, learning about the various herbs, and the things that was put here naturally, right, that can cure us. Like the other day, I was at Whole Foods, I was getting something, which is all good. And there was a young guy in there. And I had got some stuff for, just for like the stomach area to clean me out because I
Mhm.
was feeling a little like, backed up and
Sluggish.
different
Mhm.
things, right? And the guy ran. I got the stuff I wanted, some enzymes and different things. And he ran to the door. He was like, I told you to get the ginger root. You didn't get the ginger root. He's like, the ginger root is like out of
You
everything
gotta
I
get the
told you,
ginger.
the ginger root and eat it and take the ginger. That is going to go in your body and do X,
Mhm.
Y, Z.
Yeah.
This God made it. I mean, you see what I'm saying? It's coming
See,
from the
yeah.
earth. I went back. I had to go in. He was
He
so
chased you down.
he seen I didn't go get it. I looked at it,
He
but it
pulled
was a
one of those moves like with the celly.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I saw you
Because
down.
I thought I had enough. I mean, I went and got what I had. They put it in the thing. But he was like, go get the ginger root. It's going to go in your body and it's going to do its job and it's going to
Mhm.
fight off these various
Did you
different
end up
things.
getting it?
I got it. And I
Yeah.
ate, I was like, shoot, I cut it though and eat it. And I was like
Yeah.
sugar cane.
I feel like that's the universe. When that guy came back to you, it's like now you have to.
And he was,
Right,
Mhm.
right,
Yeah, straight
because
up.
he came, he didn't have to do that.
Mm-mm.
I
right.
already was out the door. So so I appreciate that guy, but at the end of the day, I mean, you made a lot of sense. I think we all have something to offer from our unique journeys, and when you
Absolutely.
unify and you come together, we're more powerful.
And it's the inspiration. For me, I lead with fun,
That's
right?
right.
Because everyone wants to have fun. I don't
No, hundred
care
Yeah.
percent.
where you are, if I lead with fun, especially because I have a nonprofit, we teach agricultural awareness, healthy
Yes.
living, living from vision, and I'm in some of the most it, in some of the toughest neighborhoods that most people don't want to go into, right?
Right.
But I love it because these are some of the most brilliant beings on the planet. And how do I get them to open up where they might be looking at me like, we ain't listening to you? Fun. We
That's right.
start with fun
That's
and
right.
colors and ooh, and you want to help? Why don't you do it?
Yeah.
Empowering them. Well, who wants to do the blender? You'd be surprised how many people just want to press that button. Right? It's just one button. I want to do even the toughest, roughest, I'll do it. Who wants to do the singing bowl? I'll do the then they be fighting over it. That's when I like to over force, like what you were saying.
That's
You
right.
can force somebody or try to do all, but if you just lead with the fun and the joy, that's to me, that's the magic.
Yes.
That's the way to connect. I
It's
like that.
incredible.
Yeah.
So, Lauren, what's the next big thing?
Oh my gosh, so many things. Well, like Corey said, I live in Columbia, and so we have a couple restaurants happening, more retreats, I'm writing my first culinary memoir, so it kind of gives people a backstory of who I am, because I feel like that's what's been missing. People see my fancy pictures and this fancy art, and they don't fully understand because I don't always tell the story, because it's
Right.
just like I don't
You're
know. I
not
feel
on
like it could
yourself.
be whack. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
want to
yeah.
feel whack and be like, hey guys, so now I realize it is important for me to share where I've come from, so that I can not only appreciate it, but others can appreciate where I am, and
Right.
they can be inspired, because it doesn't matter where you start. You could start in the hood with a father who's been incarcerated. My father's
Yes.
been is serving 2 consecutive life sentences currently. Since I was 3 years old, I could have pity partied that. I could have pity partied that I grew up in impoverished, in poverty, blah blah blah, all of the things. But instead, I use that as fuel. And if I could use it as fuel, then anyone could use it as fuel,
Right.
right? You don't have to sit down and be like, uh, you could, but what happens when you get up? It's possible when you understand that it's possible, and I am the possibility. I'm the living possibility. You're the living possibility. You're the living possibility. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm writing that book. And just um again, I'm a closet performer, right? I was a teenage mom. I had my son at 18 years old, and so I couldn't choose to be a singer or a model or an actress or any of those things. I chose food because I feel like I could help more people there, but also I didn't want to be a starving artist. I couldn't afford to be a starving artist.
Right.
And so food seemed most practical to me. And because I have all these talents, I didn't want to be a jack of all trades, right? I can make clothes, I can sing, I could do this, I could write books, I could do all of these things, but I had to choose one. And I knew that I would do that, and there would come a point where I'd be able to choose another. And so now I'm actually going to Cuba to perform. I'm singing for the 40th anniversary of their jazz festival, and tomorrow,
Nice.
which
Hmm.
is like, what? Once I said, hey, I'm living in my full embodiment, God opened the doors. And so I will be sharing more of the medicine from my sound, because that's also a medicine. And I feel like God has cultivated it and helped me cultivate other people, the Stevie Wonders of the world, right? The Commons, the Patti LaBelles, all of these people who were able to go out and impact others through my medicine. Now it's my turn. And I'm excited about that. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. You know, we're
basically.
excited for you.
Y'all
I
That's
ain't
already
gonna put
ready
amazing.
you
for
on
the
the spot, but I know you got a little.
stage.
I know you got a little. You let me hear a little something. What's one of your favorite tunes that you did? And I really liked what you sent me. I thought it was
Can we
genius.
hear it right now?
Can we get a little bit
A
of it?
little, a little
You
something.
say you
Oh
say.
Lord. Um, okay, one of my favorite. I love jazz,
Oh, I
Mhm.
love
right?
jazz.
So,
I
Yes.
listen to smooth
um,
jazz all the time.
it's just I feel like in a past life I was a jazz singer.
Oh
So I'll sing
wow.
a little jazz standard
Yeah,
for
Let's
yeah,
do
y'all.
it.
Is
yeah.
it?
Okay.
Oh God.
I got you.
um.
Got her.
Okay, here we go.
It's okay.
Oh. Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and cotton is high. Your daddy's rich, and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, please don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Then you'll spread your wings and take to the sky. But till that moment, there is nothing can harm you with mommy and daddy standing by summertime.
Oh,
That was
Oh
amazing.
my
Amazing.
God.
I
it's
love
a
it.
movie.
Oh my
Pulled
God.
it out of
I
her.
didn't even warm up, y'all.
Yeah. No, that was
She
good.
was
That was
shy.
that was
I mean,
amazing.
she had it in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we
Uh,
got it here
Oh my
on
I
the
felt it. I
Healthy Point
started
of
getting
View
it.
podcast.
Yeah.
Nobody, I'm positive nobody got this right here in this moment. And we can say we did it here at the Healthy Point of View podcast. I'm so proud of that. On my first day, hold on, of co-hosting with my man Sam Tejada. I am
love it.
super pumped and amazing.
That's
Oh
amazing.
my
Yo,
God.
you
Thank
so
you. I
Thank
can't
you.
believe
Thank you. For real.
Yes,
That,
Thank
thank
you
you.
for
thank you for
Lauren,
really doing
as
that.
we wrap up here,
Yes.
where can people find you?
Oh my God. Find me in the ethers. No. Well, laurenvanderpool.com is my website. Queen of Green on Instagram. The Eat Yourself Sexy Journey also on Instagram. Vanderpool Healthy Living Services is my nonprofit. And yeah, just Google me. Check me
Hey.
out.
I love it. I love it.
Find me on
another
the
thing,
stage.
too.
Find me in the world.
Yo, look, I seen yo, listen, I gotta say this. I remember seeing her on the sideline. I mean, on the in the crowd with. It might have been the sidelines. It was like right in the front with the fam. And while Serena was getting them championships, you know what I'm saying? And now you're here, you're back, and it's just incredible to hear your story, your journey. I learned way more. I've been watching from a distance, and just learning more about your journey. I'm more immersed in it than ever, and I'm looking forward to us doing some incredible things together in the future.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you both, honestly.
Yeah.
I
And Lauren,
truly do.
just one last thing here. If there's someone out there that is dealing with something, right, based off of the conversations we had today, what's one thing you can leave them off with before we wrap up?
One thing, gratitude. Gratitude is the heal all salve, everything. I don't care what's happening in your life. I don't care if you feel like it's over, it's done. You can find something to be grateful for. And that energy of gratitude can take you out of that state. It's the beginning, right? And so that's just be grateful, be grateful. And just really one word, God, right? God who has created all that is, all that was, all that will ever be. When you get grateful for God, things will start happening. You'll start to see yourself in a different way, and you'll start to see your situation in a different way.
I
You'll feel
love
the
it.
power to come out of it. So
That's right.
Thank you.
gratitude.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
I appreciate it. So,
Yes.
Corey, you want to close it out?
This is my first day, just kind of hosting with Sam on the Healthy, View podcast, Point of View podcast, and it fed me today. You know what I'm saying? It fed me today. I just like kind of Lauren is, and I'm even Sam. I pour into a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I poured into a lot of people. And this is one of the reasons I came with, obviously the Winergy brand, right? Because I love to see people win. I love to celebrate others, and I also love to help empower people. But like you said, sometimes you pour so much out of your cup, you have to take a moment to refill your cup, right? Because what's in your cup is valuable, right? And so at the end of the day, obviously, attitude is everything, and and being grateful. And I do agree. So I want to say, on the strength of that, I'm grateful. I'm blessed. I'm honored to be here with these incredible, human beings. I'm grateful for the individuals that's helped with this production. I'm grateful for all of the people that come to our facilities and get these modalities, who are getting healed. I'm grateful for everything that's ahead. Projects that I'm working on, projects that we're working on together. We're gonna come for a part two because we're all like creative marketing genius minds. So I already know God is working, you know what I'm saying? His master plan, and already worked the plan. That's why we're sitting here now. So I just want to say I'm grateful. I'll obviously see you again. I didn't even know I was gonna be with I am a dynamic now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, this is my first time, and obviously, but I'm looking to, just meet more incredible people, bring more incredible people that we will be meeting in our travels. And obviously we're gonna be doing, different conferences, and we're at different conventions in the longevity space, biohacking, wherever, they want us. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna show up and we're gonna impact lives, and you're gonna see more people on this couch, and you're gonna get more educated, and most of all, you're gonna have fun. Because without the fun, you know what
You're
I'm saying?
done.
It ain't no
That's how we
You know,
connect
no.
with the fun.
That's
Yeah.
a wrap. Without the fun, you're done.
Yeah.
And I had fun today.
Me
I appreciate
too.
you, Sam. I appreciate you, Lauren.
I appreciate you
know,
too.
and I'm looking
Thank you,
forward to all of the
Sam.
great
Absolutely.
things we'll be doing together and individually. Much love.
Hey.
Hey.
Thank you for watching another episode of a Healthy Point of View podcast. Again, I'm your host, Sam Tejada, with co-host Corey Jacobs. Make sure you subscribe, follow, tap, do all that fun stuff. Share it with your friends. Make sure you check out Lauren. All the links are down below. Until the next one.